Hello, welcome to Across the Great Iron. And Thanksgiving week is here, so we're going to look at a couple of games that are happening tomorrow. So I'm coming from you from the United Kingdom. It's very late. Just going to do a quick preview of the Thursday night football games. We've got some very good games coming up. My Cowboys are playing as well. And so I will be looking at that schedule and just breaking down my predictions. Green Bay and Detroit Lions, they play at 5:30, and Washington go to the Dallas AT&T Stadium. They play at 9:30. And then you've got San Francisco against Seattle, which is the 120 game here in the UK. And then you got Miami versus New York, which is the 8 p.m. Game as well. So lots of. I'm gonna start off, talking about the Cowboys, as I always do. So, Cowboys have come off quite, an impressive wins. And listen, no one is gonna give the Cowboys credit, right? No matter what they do, they're not gonna get the credit. If they beat bad teams, they beat bad teams. You're supposed to do that. If they lose, then on top of them, they can't win good teams. So I don't think they can ever win. But let's talk about this matchup. Dallas Cowboys, Washington Commanders, and the Cowboys are 7-3, which is very very good. Not as good as the Eagles, who right now are 9-1, coming from a fresh game against the Kansas City Chiefs. I was really hoping for them to lose that game, but hey, they didn't lose it. So what have you got to say about that? They keep that rolling. They're 9-1. I think they're going to be pretty difficult, to catch, but I still have hope. So listen, the Cowboys are averaging about 40 points per game at AT&T Stadium, and they have a 12 game home winning streak. So they've won 12 times at home. Micah Parson, obviously very good. Is standout in defense, and the Washington defense has given up about the most sacks in the Premier in the NFL. So you're looking at, or I think I saw the record. It was about 51 sacks that they've given up this season. So what do you guys think is going to happen in that game? CD could potentially set another record, so there is a potential record here for CD, and that is to set a record with three straight home games of 10 plus receptions and, you know, over 100 and something yards. So, I mean, he can do that this game if they feed him the ball. And this is where I have a little bit of frustration because sometimes the Dallas Cowboys try to be too clever. CD has been, pretty much automatic. You get CD going early and often, and he tends to have a big game. Last game, CD had, I think, just two catches or so. It was just ridiculous. He had the one catch for the touchdown, which was good. But I mean, he's your premier, receiver. Why don't you feed him the ball? Sometimes I just wonder whether, Dallas Cowboys hold their players back just so that they don't pay them the money because obviously CD is in a contract here now. He's playing lights out. And of course, the more yards that he gets, the more money he's going to be asking for. I never understand why this. Maybe there is a reason, but it doesn't make any sense to me. Your best player, get them the ball, let them play. That's it for me. In terms of the two teams, Dallas, lead in scoring average. I think that's very, very obvious. 30.2 to 21.5. Fans, 372 and 340. Now that's really interesting for Washington because Sam Howell does throw the ball quite a lot. And he does throw to the other team, as well. So I think that's something that, has to be looked at in this game. I think Cowboys, definitely going to win. I think the spread, in the I also believe that Tony Pollard will get a touchdown as well. I think this Commanders defense are there, in terms of giving up yards and giving up, as well. So, they play the run fairly okay, but I still expect, you know, Tony Pollard to go off in that game. So let me know, what are your predictions? What do you think is going to happen in that game? Do you think it's going to be as decisive, as I've spoken about in terms of who wins that game? Or do you think it's going to be very, very close? So put your comments there as well. And just before I go into the next game, for all of you that are watching the channel, thank you very much. Please hit that subscribe button, hit the like button as well. And like I said, put your comments here. Let me know what you think about that Dallas Cowboys prediction. So let's talk about Green Bay and Packers playing the Lions. The Lions have been sneaky good, really, this season, quietly piling up the wins, piling up the as well. I mean, only lost two games this season. The one that the it's funny because the first one was a really close game, against the Seahawks, so they lost that. I think that was very early on in the season. So after the high of beating the Chiefs, they had a calm down game, which sometimes can be expected, and maybe was something the Eagles need to be worried about because when you play the Chiefs, undeniably they're the best. They've got the best quarterback. Maybe not the best team right now in football. People could argue that, but they have the best quarterback. So when you play the Chiefs, you bring your A game, and that might still not be enough, to win. And so it ends up that most teams that beat the Chiefs is usually a close game. Look at what happened against the Chiefs, and also the Eagles when they played on Monday Night Football. That was a very close game. And if that chap MVS catches the ball that Mahomes throws to him, Chiefs win that game. So Eagles come out of that, and so annoying. They keep winning all these close games. You're just thinking to yourself, how are they getting it done? Very, very annoying. It must be frustrating for a lot of teams as well. But like I said, the Lions, they lost, to the Seahawks after coming off a win from the Chiefs, and then they lost to the Ravens. Now that loss against the Ravens was ugly. If you look at the Lions' wins, they won against the Packers, they've won against the Raiders, won against the Chargers, won against the Bears. The Packers game wasn't even very close, so they have a chance to sweep, the Packers because obviously they're in the same division. And if they win that game, they would have complete control of the NFC North. Not as if they don't have the control right now because they're 8-2. And the Vikings are just rearing their heads just a little bit, but they've already lost 5 games, so you've got, how many games left to the end of the season. The Vikings are still there, so you kind of think the Vikings, if they win those 2 games, bring them back. So that's 2 losses, on their cards. They still have to play the Bears again, but I know if you watch my channel, and I was talking about the reason why some teams are gonna get to the Super Bowl or not, and I picked the Eagles to get to the Super Bowl. Very annoying. I'm a Cowboy fan, but it is what it is. I picked the Seagulls. I said the Seagulls. I picked the Eagles to get to the Super Bowl. Now, the reason why I didn't pick the 49ers is because of this particular game. Now, the Seahawks play the 49ers. And, listen, the Seahawks are still there, with a shout. They've lost, I think 4 games, this season. And, the Rams, they lost to the Rams twice. I don't know how that ever happened. But they won the games they should win. They lost the games that they should lose. So other than the Rams game, which is a little bit surprising because of how the Rams are performing this season, but this is gonna be a tough game for them, and you could potentially put that into the pile of games that they should lose. However, I do have a sneaky feeling that this game is gonna be very, very close. I think that, being a division game, I think the 49ers, have, a potential of creating the upset here, for no, the Seattle Seahawks potential of creating the upset for the 49ers. So I'm not quite sure the 49ers are, completely there yet, and but I mean, they have something to be said there. They could split the game, they could win one, lose one, and the Seahawks get have to go to the Cowboys to go and play. So I think they've got their schedule caught out for them, but I think the Seahawks will be targeting this game and thinking if we can win this, we can become 7-4. We'll have the same record as San Francisco, which would be 7-4, and then that makes that division very very interesting, the NFC West. So the Miami against the Jets, so two teams that couldn't be going in opposite directions right now. I think that season is done for them. You know, so listen to this, right? So they've gone win, then they've gone loss, 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 then they've gone win, 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 then they've gone loss, loss. so, so you know what happened, right? They're gonna go win, 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 right? Wouldn't that really be surprising to see, the Jets do that? Win against the Dolphins, against the Falcons, and against the Texans, and you're thinking to yourself, how the hell do they do that? Well, I mean, if you look at their wins, they won against Broncos. That's a very difficult team right now to play. Don't want to play the Broncos. They beat the Eagles, and then they also beat the Giants. I mean, everybody beats the Giants, but that game was very close. It was 13-10 when they lost, and the Giants lost to them. So the Giants were playing them pretty well, even though they won that game. So who's to say that the Jets, would not win against the Dolphins, Falcons, and Texans? Tim Boyle potentially is the one going to be starting for the Jets in this game. Oh, good luck with that. I think Tua, Tyreek, they're going to rip these guys to shreds. So I don't even know if the contest. So I'm going to pick the Dolphins to win. And that's the Thanksgiving game. What do you guys do for Thanksgiving? It's not a real big event that we celebrate here in the United Kingdom. So there's not much, that we talk about. We just, and I don't even know if anyone really, talks about Thanksgiving here. Well, I mean, people start to prepare for Christmas. My neighbors have already got their Christmas lights already out, putting pressure on everybody else. When do you guys put on your Christmas lights? Do you wait till December, or are you like one of those, that gets their Christmas lights out, in November? So let me know what in the comment section. What do you do? Are you the early Christmas light person, or you're the one that waits till it's December to get your Christmas light on? Across the gridiron. Thank you very much. Like and subscribe on the channel. Please watch it to watch all of my other contents on the channel as well. Get to see what I said about Dak. About I get what I said about Cousins was injured, and who I thought was gonna go to the Super Bowl from the NFC. So until the next video, take care of yourself.